All right, folks, listen. This is a live stream, and I've been waiting to do this video, okay, about what what Elvis and Trump were waiting for. Okay, if you're new to the channel, you're gonna be like, "What is this guy talking about?" So, I told you that if you saw my video from 5 months ago about the Twin Pearl is coming because the second Pearl Harbor and the second 9/11 is coming, okay? And they were waiting for Pearl Harbor to turn 84 years old, okay? And it's going to be the 84th anniversary of Pearl Harbor coming up on 12/7. Now, before I explain all that, okay, because I have two predictions, right? That Washington State, on June 11th, and that Trump gets his head wound on August 4th. And I'll explain to you what that's all about. Okay, and everything has to do with Elvis and Trump. Now, the June 11th event is the biblical beast out of the sea event, okay? And and in the Bible it says that the beast that rises out of the sea, okay, one of its heads seems to have had a deadly head wound that healed, and the world wondered after the beast whose head wound was healed, okay? And that event the is the June 11th event. The beast that rises and one of its heads seems to have had a head wound. That head wound is Trump on August 4th because the June 11th has to connect to the August 4th, which I've explained many times under the live section of this channel. That's where all my recent videos are. Go watch the live section of this channel. So, so Trump, who compares himself to Elvis, so that's why the B side of the Sea event, which is the June 11th event in Washington State, connects to Elvis. And what better person, what better head that gets the head wound than Trump, who compares himself to Elvis? Now, what are they doing? These two, see, they are trying to be like God, okay? Because when Jesus, who is God in the flesh, was walking the earth, he was telling you that the Father is in heaven. Okay, so Jesus, who is God in the flesh, was telling you that was God was also in heaven. All right, so that means that in order to copy what God is doing, they would have to do the same thing. So that's why you see Trump playing God in the flesh while Elvis is playing the unseen God, okay? God in heaven. And that's why Trump is the one who gets the head wound. He's going to get a deadly head wound and it's going to heal, okay? And the world is going to wonder after that, okay? Now, so now that you understand what I'm talking about, of course you're not going to fully grasp it unless you watch my videos. Now, this video is going to be the most incredible video. You got to watch the whole video, people. All right? Now, let's get started. Okay? Like I said, I can't show you everything. In I can't show you every connection, but I'm going to show you as much as I can, which connects to this Pearl Harbor and 9/11 and 6/11. Okay, let me before I start, let me just show you this real quick. What are the two biggest attacks on American soil?
The two deadliest attacks on American soil were the September 11th attacks in 2001, resulting in nearly 3,000 deaths, and the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941.
All right, so you had Pearl Harbor being the one of the biggest, deadliest attacks, and 9/11. Those are the two, right? And what's the third one? Because they always do things in threes, you understand, which I told you that's also they're trying to mock God with the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. So the next one is 6/11. Okay, now that you understand that the two deadliest attacks were Pearl Harbor and 9/11, and the next one's going to be 6/11. Let's get started. You, like I said, folks, you gotta watch the whole video. Okay, what are my two predictions? All right, my two predictions: Washington State gets attacked on 6/11, and Trump's head wound is in Ohio on August 4th. Okay. Sorry about the noise in the background there. All right. 6/11 and 8/4. So, like I said, they all have to connect to each other. Okay. Pay attention. So, from Elvis's birthday, okay, from Elvis's birth to Pearl Harbor is 6 years and 11 months exactly. From the exact birthday to the exact day that Pearl Harbor happened is 6 years, 11 months when you add the day on the time and date calculator. 6 years, 11 months. So there's your 6/11. Then from Elvis's birth to 9/11, when the Twin Towers collapsed, and why is this such a big deal? Because Elvis had an identical twin that was sacrificed or died at birth. Okay, and that's why they needed Trump to fulfill this monstrous charade, because Trump is the replacement twin. So from Elvis's birth to 9/11 is 66 years, 8 months, 4 days. And why is this important? Because the word twin equals 66. All right? So you have the twin number, you have the 8/4, because Trump's gonna get his head wound on 8/4, and you have 6/11. So you have 6/11, you have the 8/4, and you have the twin equals 66, and you have 666, connecting from Elvis's birthday to Pearl Harbor and Elvis's birthday to 9/11. And remember, Elvis was an identical twin, right? Now, so I told you they're waiting for the 8/4 connection, okay? So from the Pearl Harbor attack to this year is the 84th anniversary of the attack, okay? So it turns 84 years old. This is what they've been waiting for, because it all has to connect to each other, okay? And on 6/11, it'll still be 84 years, but it'll also be 6 months and 4 days, or 6 months and 5 days if you add the day. So from Pearl Harbor to 6/11 next year, which is when it's going to happen, all right? So it's because it has to connect. 6/11 has to connect to the 8/4, okay? Like this, you understand? From Elvis's birth to Pearl Harbor is 6 years, 11 months. Then from Pearl Harbor to 6/11 next year is 84 years. 6/11 has to connect to the 8/4, okay? And you'll see later in the video. And when 9/11 happened, guess who guess who was executed that same year on 6/11 when 9/11 happened? Timothy McVeigh, the Oklahoma City bomber. And why is that important? Because it's all about bombing, right? And Timothy McVeigh has the same initials as where Elvis was born and where Elvis died. Elvis was born in Tupelo, Mississippi, TM, and he died in Memphis, Tennessee, which is MT. Get it? Like his tomb is MT. Elvis lives. You understand his anagram? Lives, lives, Levi's. But anyway, and TM equals 33, and he died at the age of 33. And he was born the same year as when the towers was erected. I mean, when the towers were being built. Okay, that Timothy, because the towers were 33 years old. Now, and I told you everything connects to each other. Pearl Harbor also came out in the year when 9/11 happened. The movie Pearl Harbor came out in 2001. Okay? And who was the star of that movie? The main star was Ben Affleck. And Ben Affleck is born on August 15th. And Elvis died on August 16th. Look at that. From August 15th to the movie release date is 9 months, 11 days. Okay? Look at that. And because he's the star of the... And Elvis died on 8/16, by the way, like I said. And that's also George Floyd's death date. George, get it? Like Washington. But anyway, so it's 9 months, 11 days. Now let's get to, before I show that, let me just, give me 1 second. One second here. I want to show this video. Oops. Give me 1 second. So listen to Trump.
What Corey had tremendous courage, tremendous guts, and he wanted to protect his family, and he did protect his family. At this time, it is 6/11, 12 weeks to the minute that the shooting began. I would like to ask everyone to join me in a moment of silence. 12 weeks to the minute that the tremendous courage, tremendous guts, and he wanted to protect his family, and he did protect his family. At this time, it is 6/11, 12 weeks to the minute that the shooting began. I would like to ask everyone to join me in a moment of silence.
So he says, by the way, they rang a bell 4 times after that. So he says 6/11 and 12 weeks. What does that mean? Let me show you. Like I said, the good stuff is coming, folks. Just bear with me. So he said 6/11, and he also said 12 weeks. 12 weeks, there's 7 days in a week. 12 weeks is 84 days. So let me tell you what he did that day when he said 6/11. So, and remember, Pearl Harbor happened on 12/7, and 12 times 7 is 84, and it's the 84th anniversary coming up on 12/7, right? I'm telling you, this is what they were waiting for this whole time. And he just said 12 weeks. So now let me tell you what he's just said. I'm getting to the good stuff. Just hold on. So what happened was when he got his ear clipped, that's not the head wound. That was predictive programming. He got his ear clipped, okay, on July 13th, but the time on the clock was 6/11 when he got his ear clipped, okay? And then what did he do? He went back to Butler, Pennsylvania, the place where he got his ear clipped 84 days later. So you have 6/11 and 8/4. That's why he did a moment of silence. He's telling you that it's going to happen. And he's ringing the bells, because after that they sounded the bells 4 times. Okay? You understand? So they're giving you warning. All right? Now, I'll get back to that later in the video. All right. And let's get to the good stuff. So, remember, I just told you, man, I keep hitting the wrong button here. So remember, on 9/11, you had the 3 buildings collapse. What are the 3 buildings? Building number 1, 2, and 7. Okay? And I just told you Pearl Harbor happened on 12/7. And 12 times 7 is 84. You understand? Okay? So what are the chances that Pearl Harbor, which happened on 12/7, connects to 9/11 that way? Okay? The buildings 1, 2, and 7 fall. All right? And 12 times 7 is 84. Now, from Elvis's birthday to 9/11, remember it was 66 years, but just within the same year, it's 8 months, 4 days. So see the 8/4 connection? So you have the 8/4 connection, and Pearl Harbor happened on 12/7. 12 times 7 is 84. And you had the buildings 1, 2, and 7 fall on 9/11. You see how it all connects to everything? Because 8/4, get it? 8 months, 4 days from Elvis's birthday to 9/11. And of course, I told you twin equals 66. Elvis had an identical twin that died of birth. Okay. Now, why am I showing you this? Now, watch how important this is. Watch this next part. Watch. Why am I showing you that the word 5 and 9 are twin numbers? 5 equals 9. Exact same numbers it equals in gematria. And And not only is it a twin number, it equals the word twin, but backwards. It's the exact same numbers, but in reverse. See, twin equals 6621, backwards 4224. 5 and 9, both of those individually equal 42, 24, 66, 21. So it's the opposite. Same exact numbers. And 5 and 9 are the only numbers that equal the same in single digits. I'm saying 5 equals 9 in single digits. It's the only one. And why am I showing you 5995? What's the reason I'm showing you that? Is because from Pearl Harbor to 9/11 was 59 years, 9 months, 5 days. Do you understand? It's the 5 and 9. It's the twin numbers, and the twin towers collapsed. And remember, from Elvis's birthday to 9/11 was 66 years, and the word twin equals 66. Do you understand? Okay? That's why I'm showing you that 5 and 9 is the twin number when I just showed you this. 5 and 9, they equal the same, and it connects to the word twin. Okay? All right. Now, if that's still not enough for you, just keep watching. Look at this. If you add up all the numbers between 1 through 109, it equals 5995. And look at the numbers. 911. Look, it's the same numbers. 911. It equals 5995. Exactly how many days from Pearl Harbor to 9/11? 59 years, 9 months, 5 days. See that? You understand? 5995. And look, and if you take the Pearl Harbor's day, Pearl Harbor happened on 12/7, which is the 341st day of the year. 9/11 happened on the 254th day of the year. Add it up, what do you get? 595. There it is again. 5995. 5995. Do you see it? I'm asking, do you think these are coincidences? So far, are these this is unbelievable, right? The connections. And this is nothing. Just keep watching. Now look at how they all connect. Now keep watching. So the square root, don't ask me what a square root is. I don't care. The point is, it's obviously something important, just like prime numbers. Square root of 162, which is June 11th, the 162nd day of the year, is 12.7. The first three numbers is 12.7, and it's the first time it hits 12.7. 162, which is June 11th, the 162nd day of the year, connects to 12/7, Pearl Harbor's date, man. And 12 times 7 is 84. So not only does it connect to June 11th, it connects to 8/4, and it connects to Pearl Harbor. Are you understanding what I'm saying? The square root of 162 is 12.7. June 11th is the 162nd day of the year. And 12/7 is Pearl Harbor. 12 times 7 is 84. So all three of them connect to each other again. Okay? Because the buildings 1, 2, and 7 fell, right? You know what I mean? And now, watch this. So I told you that from ELVIS to 9/11 was 8 months, 4 days, or 66 years, but the amount of days in between is 247, in between Elvis's birth and the Twin Towers collapsing. Look, the 611th square root is 24.7. It's the first time you see 247 in a square root is at the 611 mark. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Look, do you see how perfect this is? So 9/11 connects to the 6/11, and 247 is 8 months, 4 days. All right? I mean, this is unbelievable, man. Anyone who came in late, you got to watch from the beginning, okay? And look, and we're just talking about the 247. Look, the time on the clock, 12/7 is 24/7, on military time. So Pearl Harbor's date 12/7 is like 24/7. See, again connecting to the numbers. You see how it all connects to each other? Okay. Just give me 1 second here. Give me. It gets better and better. Just keep watching. And people, make sure you thumb up the video, and make sure you comment after the video's up too. Look, it's already if the phone's glitching, if the phone goes off, goes off, I'm gonna come right back on. Hopefully, it'll let me come back on and resume the video, because it looks like I'm having trouble already with the phone, with the reception. All right, let's keep going. So remember that, oops. So remember, from Elvis's birthday to Pearl Harbor is 6 years, 11 months, right? And 6/11 is when Washington State gets struck, right? And 6/11 is like the upside down 9/11. So it's all connected to each other. 6 is upside down, 9/11 upside down is 1/1. Same thing. 9/11, 6/11, right? Now watch. So 6/11, right, to Pearl Harbor. Look at this. So if you take the prime numbers, and prime must be super important because prime means like the most important, basically. So the 6th prime is 13, and the 11th prime is 31. And if you take the 13 and 31, its primes are 41 and 127. Now look at this. You see what I just did? It's 12741. Look at that. Pearl Harbor's date, 12/7/41. Look at that. 12/7/41, connecting to the 6 and 11 primes. 6 prime and 11th prime is 1331. Take the 13 and 31 prime, it's 41 127. See? You see how and from Elvis's birthday to Pearl Harbor is 6 years, 11 months. You see how the 6/11 goes in right back and connects to the 12/7 with the prime numbers. Are you saying it? I just want to make sure you guys understand it before I move on. All right. So the 6/11 connects to Elvis's birthday and also to Pearl Harbor. Okay? In every which way. Now watch how it connects to 9/11. The prime numbers for the date 9/11/20/01, because we say 2020, like 2020 and all that. 9/11/20/01. This is the prime numbers for 9/11. Look, these are the primes. So you add that up, look what you get, 41 and 127. That's Pearl Harbor's date again. I mean, can you believe this? What I'm showing you? Look at that. I just showed you that these numbers connected, 6 and 11 connected to Pearl Harbor, and then now 9/11 connects to the Pearl Harbor numbers. Okay, how? Just please tell me, how is this possible? Right? Okay, like I said, it gets better. Just keep watching. Just keep watching. So, Trump, I told you he's going to get his head one on 8-4, right? Trump's birthday is 6/14. 6 times 14 equals 84. That's when he gets his head wound. And you know that Pearl Harbor happened on 12/7, and 7 times 12 is 84, right? And I told you that buildings 1, 2, and 7 fell. Like I just said, 12 Pearl Harbor was 12/7, and the buildings on 9/11 were the 1, 2, and 7, right? So everything connects to this 127 or 712. 712, 127. Because in the UK they say the dates backwards, 712. But anyway, so Trump's head wound is on 8/4, and it's going to be in Ohio State where he gets his head wound. Look at that. 84 plus 17 is 101. Why am I showing this? Because I told you next year Trump gets his head wound in the year 26. See, in 2026. So if you just took the 26, the 26 prime is 101, right? And I just told you that Trump gets his head wound on 8/4. Ohio's the 17th state equals 101. And, and by the way, Seattle equals 82. And the reduced number is 19 equals 101. But look, so the prime number look, watch this. The 26 prime, next year's the year 26 equals 101, right? Why am I showing this? I was setting it up for this, see? The 26 prime is 101, and you add the 26 to the 101, you get 127. Pearl Harbor, 12/7. And look, you have the 611, right? You have 611 in there. You see it? And you have 20206. That's the Seattle area code, 206, But anyway, so you have 611 in the date, right? I mean, in the prime number, and you got the 12/7 for Pearl Harbor if you add it all up. All right. Now, why is this 26 so important? The 26 is so important because God equals 26, and next year's the 26th year, right? So God equals 26, and look at the percentage of 26 days is 7.12%. See that? Again, connecting to the 12/7. See? It connects to 12 and 7. And look, in the Hebrew, the word God is the word El. El means God in Hebrew. And like Elvis, right? And El, this is what it equals in gematria, 17 and 37 backwards, 17 forward, 37 backwards. Look at this. The 12th prime is 37, the 7th prime is 17. So there's that 712 connecting to the El, You see that? So again, it's connecting to the 12/7 with the word God, And here's some more. 17 and 37 is the word El. You take the 17th prime and the 37th prime, add it up, you get 216, which is August 4th. You see? Everything connects to each other, okay? And the word God, because I'm showing you the God connection here real quick before I go back to what I'm showing. Are we not working right now? Are we on, or is because people are saying that it's buffering? Is it working right now? Can you guys hear me? Can somebody tell me if you can hear me? Okay, it's working again. All right, so the word God equals, look at it, G equals 7, O equals 15th letter of the alphabet, D equals the 4th letter. But there's only one letter here that can be reduced, and that's the letter O, because it's the 15th letter. Double digits means 1 plus 5 is 6. 1 plus 5 is 6. So that's the only letter that can be reduced, the letter O. So it's 7, 15, 6, and 4. See? 7, 15, 6, and 4. You take the prime numbers, it equals 84. You see? Again, back to the 8, 4. You seeing what I'm talking about? And if you add that up, all of that, the word God was 7, 15, 6, and 4. You add it up with the prime numbers, you get 116. So the 8-4 connects to the 1-6. You see? The 6-11. Okay? I'm just showing you the connections before I show you the most incredible stuff. Just hold on. Now, how many days are in between Elvis's birthday and June 11th when you add the day? When you add the day on the calculator, the time of day calculator, from Elvis's birthday to 6-11 is 155 days. All right? 155 days. 155 days. The prime number for 155 is 907. Why am I showing this? Okay, the phone got cut off. Give me a second here. I'm trying to find a spot where what happened. The phone got cut off, so I'm back again. Let me just show that last part over again. Okay, so we're back, right? I know they're messing with me. You see how they're messing with me? Anyway, let me go back. Let me start again. Let me just start again. Not start again, but start at this point. So remember, from Elvis's birthday to 6-11 is 155 days. The 155th prime is 907. Why am I showing you this? Okay. Why am I showing you this? Because look, the 127th prime, which is the Pearl Harbor date, 12/7, is 709. So it's the backwards of that. You see it? 907. You know? You see what I'm talking about? Okay? So that's another connection to it. I could show you much more with this, but I want to move on. Okay? So anyway, let's keep going. You know that Trump, he's 79 years old right now, and Obama's 64, and they're going to be 79 and 64 on June 11th. Trump doesn't turn 80 until June 14th. Okay, so he's still going to be 79, and Obama's going to be 64 on 6/11. Okay, and why am I bringing Obama? Because Obama's born on August 4th, and he was the president before Trump. That's why he's connected to this, because Trump's going to get his head wound on his birthday. Trump gets the head wound. Anyway, so Trump will be 79, Obama will be 64. Look, the prime numbers for 79 and 64, that's the prime numbers. Look what they add up to, 712. There's your Pearl Harbor numbers again, 12/7, 712. 12/7 is Pearl Harbor, right? And like I said, are all these coincidences? If you go from the first of the year to 6/11, you add those up, look at that, it's 712. Or you say it backwards, the words is 12/7, 712. So look at that, it's connected to 6/11. And that's how many days in between Elvis's birthday and Pearl Harbor was 6 years, 11 months from birth of Elvis to the Pearl Harbor. Okay? And now Pearl Harbor is going to be 84 years old. Okay? I'm just saying, what is the chance that it equals 712? 12/7. And the reason I'm showing you, like this is because look, July 12th, the number 712 again. July 12th equals 162, and June 11th is the 162nd day of the year. So another connection to that, Oh, and by the way, the January 1st, if you put January 1st into the calculator, it equals 162, which is June 11th. Okay. Now, why is this number so important? The 712 12/7. Look at this. Look who died on 7/12. In 2020, Elvis's grandson died, who was Lisa Marie Presley, and Lisa Marie Presley later died too. Supposedly, by the way, I'm not saying that I believe any of this. So Elvis's grandson died on 7/12. Okay. Elvis's grandson died on 7/12. And on that same exact day, on 7/12/2020, this person died. Travolta's wife, Kelly Preston. like Presley and Washington. You have the Presley and the Ton. Okay? I mean, I could show you other stuff too, but she died on that exact same day as Elvis's grandson. Look at this. Let's look at their ages. They died on 7/12, both of them. They were 57 and 27. Look, 84. You see? And they died on 7/12. Pearl Harbor is 12/7. Get it? 12 times 7 is 84. You see? Okay? Are you understanding how ridiculous this is? And you know, the father of this kid, you know, because I told you the mother was Elvis's daughter, Lisa Marie, the kid who died. The father was Danny Keough, and look, he's born on 11/6, which is like the numbers 6 and 11. You see? Or 9/11. You get it? You see what I'm saying? I'm sure that's just another coincidence. You know what I mean? So anyway, we were talking about the 7/12, right, and all that. And I was just showing you how it all equals 162. Now, from that day that he died, Benjamin Keough, to 6/11 next year, the day Kelly Preston died too. And remember, their ages added up to 84. And what number day of the year is 84? It's the 216th day of the year. So 2160, look at that. It's with a crown. I told you the O is a portal, a crown, a womb, an egg, a ring, a face, a head. But look, and Trump's going to get his head one on August 4th. But look, you see what I'm saying? It's 2160 days. So it's a crown on the 216. What happens when you put up the letter O, the crown on the 216? This is the first number that does this when you're putting a crown on it. Look at what it equals. 216 with the letter O. This is the first number when you put a crown on it that does something like this. It equals the same forward and backward and the 666. Okay? You see that? Okay? And remember, Trump's going to get his head one on that day. You know, 6/14 is when he's born. 6 times 14 is 84. You understand? And Pearl Harbor, you know, equals 84. 12 times 7, you know. And Elvis, from Elvis's birthday to Pearl Harbor was 6 years, 11 months. You know, or it looks like the numbers 9 and 11. You know. And look, from, you know, on Elvis's birthday, if you add up Elvis's birthday, 1, 8, 19, and 35, it equals 63. You add up Pearl Harbor this year, 12 plus 7 plus 20 plus 25, it equals 64. You add it up, you get 127. Pearl Harbor is 12/7. And 12 times 7 is 84, and it turns 84 this year on 12/7. You understand? There it is again. Now, let's go from this date to 6/11. Add it up is 64. Add up 6 plus 11 plus 20 plus 26 is 63. You get 127. You see? You see what I'm talking about? This was from Elvis's birth to Pearl Harbor this year, 127. And then from Pearl Harbor this year to 6/11, the date, you add it up, 127. That's Pearl Harbor again. You see? And if you still think that's not enough, Washington State attack, 6/11, 2026. The prime numbers add up to 216. You see it? There's that August 4th, 216. You see? And this is 6/11. So it had to connect to August 4th. That's what I'm trying to show you. It has to connect to each other. The 6 and 11 to 8/4. And I'll show you why at the very end. My hand's going numb, folks. Hold on, because I have really bad arthritis. I still have some really good info coming. Just wait. Make sure you guys thumb up the video and then comment at the end of, once the video's over, go comment under the comment section. And only comment about what you saw in the video. Don't just make useless comments. But make sure you thumb up the video. Just give me a second. And if you're new to the channel, like I said, make sure you go to the live section of this channel. That's where all my recent videos are. And only watch the videos that pertain to, you know, Elvis and Trump and my two predictions. All right, so Pearl Harbor happened on 12/7, and that equals 84. Trump's birthday, 6 times 14 is 84, right? We all know that. All right. Pearl Harbor happened on 12/7, right? And anyone who just got in, you got to watch from the beginning. Anyway, so Pearl Harbor attack happened on 12/7/41. Trump was born on 6/14. And look at the amount of days. 165 with a crown. The letter, I mean, the zero. 1650. Trump's born on the 165th day of the year. You see that? So from Pearl Harbor, remember, Pearl Harbor, 12 times 7 equals 84. 6 times 14 is 84, Trump's birthday. So they both have the 84 connections, you see? And look at that. From the exact days is 1650. 165 with a crown, or the head, or the portal, or the womb, the matrix, the, you know, the ring, the halo, the crown, the head, the face, the portal. You understand? All right. Now, and remember, from Elvis's birthday to Pearl Harbor, 6 years, 11 months, there's your 611, right? And now let's look at what happens when we go from Pearl Harbor to Elvis's death date. Look at this. So from Pearl Harbor to Elvis's death date, when you add the day, is 35 years, 8 months, 10 days. You see these numbers? They look just like Elvis's birth date. See that? 10835. 10835. See that? So from Pearl Harbor to Elvis's death date. You see that? Oh, I could show you much more if I showed you all the connections with that. But I'm not going to do that here. So you see that, right? And now you understand. Look how perfect it is, right? So from Elvis's birthday to Pearl Harbor, 6 years, 11 months. And then from Pearl Harbor to Elvis's death date is Elvis's birthday numbers. 1835. See? With a crown. 611 and Elvis's birthday with a crown, you see? Now, from Elvis's death to next year, 611, is 48 years still. See, there's that 48. 84 has to connect to the 611. See? Elvis's death, from Elvis's death to 611 next year, it'll still be 48 years. Okay? Because he's already 48 years dead. Okay? All right? Keep watching. It gets more amazing. All right? Just keep watching. All right? Just give me 1 second here. Wait till you see this. Look, this is what I have left here. It's still a good amount, but wait till you see what I'm about to show you. How this works out. Oh man. Just Give me a second. I'm trying to relax my hands. Arthritis is really killing me. Watch this. So remember, my two predictions are 6-11 and 8-4, right? And and it just so happens that, hold on one second. So from Elvis's birthday, 1/8 to 6/11 is 155 days when you add the day. And if you were to type out the number 155 written out into letters equals 216. It's the first number that equals 216. 155 written out is the first number when written out that equals 216. So 6/11 connects again to August 4th. Because 8-4 is the 216th day of the year, and Elvis Aaron Presley equals 216. You understand? It's Elvis' birthday. Elvis Aaron Presley, his full name equals 216 when you just add it up to what it is in the alphabet, his letters. And then it's 155 days, 155 written out is 216. 216 is 8-4. You see how perfect? It's the first number when written out. It's the very first one that equals 216. All right? Now, is it just a coincidence that when Elvis moved to Memphis, Tennessee, him and his family first arrived in Tennessee on 11/6/48? Are you kidding me? That's because I've shown this before. Because he died in Memphis, Tennessee, Elvis. So the first time him and his family arrived was the date 11/6/48. First of all, how do they even know the day he arrived? Like who keeps track of that stuff? You know? But you ask, you know what? Let me just show you, because I'm not gonna make this up. I gotta show it. Because people are gonna. When did Elvis and his family first arrive to Memphis, Tennessee? Let's see if they say it.
Elvis Presley and his family first arrived in Memphis, Tennessee on November 6, 1948.
So 11/6/48. See that? I mean, how is that even possible? So you have the 8-4 and the 6/11. Okay? Now, are you ready for this? From Elvis's birthday to Pearl Harbor was 6 years, 11 months. From Pearl Harbor to the day Elvis arrived in Memphis, Tennessee on 11/6/48 is 6 years, 11 months. Exactly. I mean, can you believe this, man? Are you looking at what I'm showing you? All right? Do you see it? How ridiculous is this? And it's funny, if you go from that date 11/6/48 to 6/11 is 77 years, 7 months, 6 days. Look at that. It's like almost a full jackpot there. Kind of like this. Look, if you wrote out Elvis Aaron Presley, the Antichrist, June 11, 2026, it equals 777. Interesting number there. And there's only one. Now watch this. Look what I'm showing you here. There's only one time where you get the numbers 6, 11, and 84 during the 1900s, right? You're only going to see it once. 6, 11, 84. From that day to 6/11/26 next year is 42 years. Why is that important? Because Elvis died at 42, and Washington is the 42nd state. So the only date, that you can ever see where you see 6/11/84 is at that moment. You understand? You can't get another 8/4, 6/11 during the 1900s. You know what I mean? You have to wait till the next century. Do you get it? So it's 42 years. So that's another connection. And here's another connection. I don't know if you guys will understand this, but from Elvis's birthday to Pearl Harbor within the same year is 334 days. If you add the day, it's 8,016 hours. That's when Elvis died, 816. And 334 days, if you subtract it from 1,000, it equals 666. So that, because every 10 is a reset. So 1 to 10 is a reset. The 100 is a reset. 1,000 is a reset. 10. Every 10 is a reset number. Because you go 1 through 10, then you go back to 11. 12. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I'm showing you that. It's interesting, Okay, and remember that Elvis died in 1977, and from his death to 6/11 is 48 years. So you have the 8/4 and the 6/11, right? And why am I showing this? 8/4, 6/11. Anyway, it's 48 years. And you know who won the 48th Super Bowl? Seattle. And from that Super Bowl to the next Super Bowl is 12 years, 7 days. Exactly. Are you looking at that? And it's at Levi Stadium, which is Elvis. See? There's that 12/7, Pearl Harbor. And Pearl Harbor turns 84. Are you seeing it? Who's not seeing this? If you can't see this, you just completely, something's wrong with you. So Seattle wins the 48th Super Bowl. And from that Super Bowl to this next one is 12 years, 7 days. That's Pearl Harbor's date. 12 times 7 is 84. Pearl Harbor turns 84 this year on 12/7. See that? And Levi Stadium is playing. See? And here's another weird coincidence. If you look at from Elvis's birthday to 9/11, I told you it's 8 months, 4 days in between. If you went from 9/11 to Elvis's death date, it's 11 months, 6 days. What? There it is again. 8/4 and 6/11. There it is again. You see what I'm saying? And look, if you add those up, look at that. It's 1835. That's Elvis's birth date. He was born on 1/8/35. Are you understanding what I'm showing? Does anyone not see what I'm showing here? Oh my goodness, man. I feel sorry for you people, man, that you guys, you're seeing biblical prophecy and you guys are looking at it as if you're, I don't know, man. It's shocking to me. I'm literally showing you biblical prophecy that's about to play out. You guys are like, whatever. Don't worry. You'll all see in the near future. Okay, let me keep going. My hand's completely numb, folks. Hold on. All right. So when America switched from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar, which is what we're on right now, 11 days were removed from our calendar. Okay? When they switched over from the Julian to the calendar we're on now, the Gregorian, 11 days were removed. And when was this? In 1752. Okay? America, well, I mean, it wasn't America at that moment. America was founded in 1776, but the calendar, 11 days were removed from the ninth month. You see that? The 9/11. You see what I'm saying? In 1752, 11 days were removed from the month of September. What are those days? Let me show you. Julian calendar, the end date was the last day was 9/2, and then the Gregorian started 9/14. So in between, the dates 3 through 13 was missing. 9/3 to 9/13. Okay? 11 days was taken out in the month of September, 9/11. Get it? Now check this out. If you go from the beginning to 9/11, it's 248 years. Okay? If you go from the beginning of the Gregorian, our calendar. But if you go from the end date to 9/11, it's 249 years. And why am I showing this? Because you know America's age is 249 years old right now. Okay? Right now. But this is from the beginning of this is the end of the Julian calendar, which then began the Gregorian, or the calendar we're on, and up to 9/11 is 249 years. Okay? And right now, America is 249 years old. Okay? Now watch this. Check this out. Let me show you something here. Why am I showing this? You'll see in a moment. Just hold on, okay? Now, 9/11 happened on 9/11/2001, right? But if you took out the zeros, it would be 9/11/21. So 9/11/21 days is 249 years, 6 months, 5 days. Or if you start, if you add, I think before the month of March, then it would be 6 months, 3 days. But it's 249 years, 6 months, 5 days, or 6 months, 3 days. Okay, now watch this. If you went backwards from the year Elvis was born, I'm just showing you something here. Just bear with me. So the year Elvis was born, 1935, if you went from 6/11 that year, because he was born on January 8th, but from 1935 backwards, 249 years, 6 months, 5 days, which is 9/11/21, which looks like 9/11. It lands on the Pearl Harbor number, 12/7. Okay? So 6/11 connects to the Pearl Harbor number because it has the Julian calendar, because Julian calendar it ended in 1752. So that's why it has the calculations in there too. And that's why it landed on the Pearl Harbor date. But look, so 6/11 even connects to Pearl Harbor with the 9/11 numbers, 9/11/21. Okay? Now watch. Just keep watching. So from the Julian calendar, remember I'm doing the Julian calendar thing. This was the year Elvis was born. Now, if we go from the actual birth date of Elvis, 1/8 backwards, look what happens. Just keep watching. So from the birth of Elvis backwards, 9/11/21, which looks like 9/11/2001, it lands on 7/6. 7/6. Why is that important? Who was the 9/11 president? George Bush. His birthday 7/6. So it landed from Elvis's birthday backwards. The 9/11/2001 numbers landed on 7/6. Bush is he was born on 7/6, and he was the 9/11 president. Now, if you went from Elvis's birthday to 7/6, you went forward 911 days, it lands on 7/6. That's what I meant to say. If you go forward from Elvis's birthday 911 days, it lands on 7/6. Did you see what I just showed you? Okay? The 9/11 president. Okay? And if you go back, you stupid If you go back from Elvis's birthday, the day he's born, it lands on 7/6 with the 911 2001 numbers, 91121. And George Bush was born on 7/6, the 9/11 president, George Bush Jr. All right. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because, America was founded, okay? America was founded on 7/4/1776. That's what they say. This is super important. Now, pay attention. So from that day to Pearl Harbor this year, when it turns 84 years old, I told you, buildings 1, 2, and 7 fell on 9/11. 12 times 7 is 84. Okay? 9/11 happened on 2001. Pay attention. So from America's founding date to 12/7, it's 9/11/01 days if you don't add the day, 02 days if you add the day. So it's the same numbers as 9/11/2001. You see it? Are you seeing it? What I'm showing? Okay? It's the same numbers. 9/11/0102 is the same numbers. So from America's founding date to this year's Pearl Harbor, okay? Anniversary. Okay? Now, if you still think these are coincidences, pay attention. When was Elvis born? January 8th, 1935. To next year's birthday. If you add the day, it makes one day if you add the day. 91 years, one day. There's your 911. See it? That's from Elvis's birthday to next year's birthday, which is coming up in whatever, a month and a half. You understand? Now, that's from Elvis's birth to his birthday next year. Now, from Elvis's birthday to the 84th anniversary of Pearl Harbor this year is 90 years and 11 months. You see it now? Look, from Elvis's birth to Pearl Harbor is 90 years, 11 months. And remember, from Elvis's birth to Pearl Harbor exact day was 6 years, 11 months. But the 84th anniversary, 90 years, 11 months. You see? So there's the 9/11, there's your 911 again. You see how ridiculous this is, what I'm showing you? I have only one more little stack left and we're done. Okay? Almost done. Yeah. Make sure you guys thumb up the video and comment after the video's loaded. And only comment about what you saw in the video. Just keep watching. This is the last part. It's going to get really good right here. Watch. Oh, man. Oh, man. My hands are shaking, folks, from the arthritis. Hold on. Give me 1 second here. All right. Let's get back to it. So America's current age is 249 years old, and on 6/11 next year, it'll still be 249 years old, because it doesn't turn 250 until 7/4. But so America's age is 249, right? That's how it's so important there, and I'll tell you why. Because look, Elvis's birthday is 1/8, and he died on 8/16. Add it up, you get 924. And if you say it backwards, like they do in the UK, the dates, it'll be 249. That's America's age, 249. And for the people who know my videos, you know that that's Neo's birthday, 9-2, and my birthday, 9-4. And you know it's me and him are connected if you watch my live stream about that. Anyway, so 924 is the 249, okay? See? America's age, right? Now watch. It just so happens that if you were to multiply the dates, 12 times 7, 9 times 11, 6 times 11, the three events, it adds up to 249, okay? So it adds up to 249. That's America's age, all right? And remember, from America's founding date to Pearl Harbor's 84th anniversary, you have the 9/11 numbers, okay? Like I just showed. And then remember I told you that from Elvis's birthday to Elvis's birthday next year is 91 years, 1 day, which if you add the day, so that's 9/11 right there. And then from Elvis's birthday to Pearl Harbor this year, the 84th anniversary, you have 90 years, 11 months from Elvis's birthday. So there's the 9/11 again, right? And I told you that next year, 6/11 is going to be 249 years, America's age, 249 next year. And from the Twin Towers collapse to 6/11 next year is 24 years, 9 months. That's exactly America's age, 249, okay? From 9/11, the day the Twin Towers fell, to 6/11 next year is 249 years. And of course, you have the numbers of June 11th and August 16th here, because look, August 4th, the day Trump gets his head wound, and June 11th, when Washington State gets attacked. The 162nd day of the year is June 11th, and the 216th day of the year is August 4th, and you have a crown, okay? Anyway, but look, it's 24 years, 9 months. America's age is 249, right? And it just so happens that 911 days is 249.59% of a year. Don't ask me what it is, but that's the percentage. 911 days is the percentage is 249.59% of a year, of a common year. That's what it's called. 911 days is 249.59. It just so happens from 9/11 to 6/11 is 249, right? And 911, get it? 249. Now what's this? The 59. From Pearl Harbor to the Twin Towers is 59 years, 9 months, 5 days. See? The 59. From Pearl Harbor to the Twin Towers, 59. See? 249 from 9/11 to 6/11, 249. And then the 59 is from here. And remember, from Elvis's birthday to the Pearl Harbor was 6/11. You know what I mean? 6/11, 249. From Elvis's birthday to Pearl Harbor was 6 years, 11 months. So you had the 6/11 connection to Pearl Harbor, and then Pearl Harbor to 9/11 is 59 years. There's your 59. And then from 9/11 to 6/11 is the 249. 249. You understand? It's like a complete circle it's making. Okay? And of course, 12 times 7 is 84. And 8/4 is the 216th day of the year. That's the day Trump gets his head wound on Obama's birthday. The 216 days into the year is 59.18%. 59. There's that 59 again. You know, what I just showed over there. You know, and Elvis's birthday is 1/8. So basically what you're saying is this, see? I should have showed the 6/11. Hold on a second. Give me 1 second here. Let me see if I have it here. Like usual, I don't have it. But anyway, so from Elvis's birthday to Pearl Harbor was 6 years, 11 months, right? So you have the 611, and then from Pearl Harbor to 9/11 was the 59, and then from 9/11 to 6/11 was the 249. So you have the 911 days is 249, and then the 59. You see what I mean? Okay? It's all connected, right? Oh, and from George Washington's death date to 6/11, if you go forward 911 days, it lands on 6/11. From George Washington's death date is 911 days. There you go again. All right. Now, here's the last thing. Last two cards, okay? Now watch. Pay attention closely. So from America's founding date to Elvis's birthday next year is 249 years, 6 months, 5 days if you add the day. 249, 6 months, 5 days. Okay? That's from America's founding to Elvis's birthday. So from 9/11, when it happened, to 6/11 next year is 24 years, 9 months. And then from 12/7, the 84th anniversary this year, to 6/11 is 6 months, 5 days. See? 24965. See? From founding date of America to Elvis's birthday is 24965. You see? You see what I'm talking about? All right. And look, man, I can't, go through everything over and over again. You know what I'm saying? It's too much to re-explain everything. Yeah, I've looked into. Yeah, I've talked about. Someone's talking about Marilyn Monroe. Yeah, I've mentioned her many times over the years. Anyway, one last thing here. You know that let me just ask this. Watch. What is Elvis's favorite vacation place?
Elvis Presley loved Hawaii as his favorite vacation spot.
So Hawaii is his favorite vacation place. You hear that? Where's Pearl Harbor located?
Pearl Harbor is on the island of Oahu in Hawaii, near the city of Honolulu. It's a U.S.
So it's Hawaii, okay? So Elvis's favorite vacation place is Hawaii, all right? And who was the first king of Hawaii?
Kamehameha I, also known as Kamehameha the Great, was the first king of Hawaii.
When do they celebrate King Kamehameha Day in Hawaii?
King Kamehameha Day is celebrated annually on June 11th in Hawaii. This state holiday honors.
See that? So you're telling me, pay attention. So Elvis's favorite vacation place, where Pearl Harbor happened in Hawaii, the first king they celebrate every year on 6/11. His the fact that he was the king, they celebrate him every year on 6/11. Every year. Okay? And Elvis was known as the king, right? And who was born in Hawaii? The 8-4 guy, Obama, supposedly. And Elvis was there when this guy was conceived and when he was born. I'm telling you, he was filming Hawaii movies. Elvis. He made a bunch of them. And look, Trump's gonna get his head one on 8/4, and he awakens on 8/8, and Hawaii's area code is 8/8. See? So 6/11 Obama 8-4. Trump gets his head wound 8-4. He awakens on 8-8. Hawaii area code is 8-8. That's the Lionsgate portal is 8-8. And 611th prime is 4507, which is the first time we see a 45 in a prime. Is at the 600, is at the 88th. The 88th prime is the first time you see 45. Trump equals 88. And he's the 45-47 president. And the next time you see 45 is at 611. 611th prime is 4507. There's your 45 and 47 again. You see what I mean? I could show you much more. I just want you to see that the 611, the final piece to the puzzle is, like I said, 611 connects to the 8-4. Then the 8-4 has to connect to the 8-8. That's where Elvis enters Trump, just like Satan entered Judas. Elvis enters Trump on 8-4 or 8-8 somehow, and that's when he wakes up. Yeah, and Trump becomes the abomination of desolation. Yeah, abomination of desolation. Okay, and and why does 611 need the 8-4? That's the last thing I'm going to show here. Let me show it to you. Why does 611 need the 8-4? Okay. All right, this is something I've shown a million times, nothing new. But so what number does Satan need? He needs a 666, right? And Satan equals 55. Okay, the letters in the word Satan equals 55. You just add it up to what it is in the alphabet. So what does Satan need to get to 666 if he equals 55? He needs the 611. So, and that's the day Washington State gets attacked. So 611 plus 55 equals 666, right? So what does 611 need? I mean, if 611 needs 55, then what does that mean? Well, here it is. In between 611 and 8-4, if you add the day, including the day, is 55 days. There it is. And August 4th is the 216th day of the year. And Elvis Aaron Presley equals 216. And so that's the day I told you that Trump gets his head wound on Obama's birthday. 6 times 6 times 6 equals 216. So August 4th is the 666 day. And Satan equals 55 plus 611 is 666. So that's why you're seeing what you're seeing here. Satan needs the 611 to get to 666. 611 plus Satan, 55 days, 8-4, it lands. And that's the day, you see? See how perfect it is, the puzzle? And if you think it's still a coincidence, look at what Satan equals. Satan equals 55. And then what do you have? You have 1-8-35. That's Elvis's birthday, 1-8-35. Satan plus Elvis. And then look at the totals. Look at the totals. You have a 5 and a 5, which is Satan, and 611. You see? Now that's what I mean by how perfect this puzzle is. You can't get more perfect than that. Okay? That's it. I've had enough of this. Anyway, if you're new to the channel, go to the live section of this channel. That's where all my recent videos are. All right? Go to the live section and skip over any videos that have nothing to do. Only watch the videos that have to do with Elvis, Trump, and my 2 predictions of Washington State, 611, and Trump head on August 4th. All right? So Elvis, Trump, and those 2 predictions. All right? Just watch the last 5 months of my live streams. Anyway, all right, folks. I'll stay on for like 2 more minutes. Anybody have any questions before I end it? Make sure you thumb up the video, man. Man, it's sad. It really is. It's really sad. For goodness sakes, man. What do you have to do for people to appreciate a video? I mean, come on, man. Anyway, folks, make sure you thumb up the video and make sure you comment under the video. Any last words? All right, I guess nobody's got anything to say, so. All right. God bless everyone. Jesus is God. End of video. Make sure you watch from the beginning and watch it all the way through if you came in late. All right. End of video.